For 40 years, one man carried the hopes, fears, and dreams of an entire nation. His name was Moses. He stood before kings. He walked through impossible storms. He witnessed the power of God and led his people from slavery toward freedom. But every servant of God eventually reaches the final chapter of their journey. Moses had reached the end of his assignment. The wilderness behind him carried memories of battles, miracles, and moments when only God could make a way. Then the Lord spoke to Moses and said, "Go up to Mount Nebo and look at the land I have promised to my people." The land he had dreamed of seeing was before his eyes, but God had another plan for his final moment. Moses had given everything. He had prayed for these people, fought for them, and guided them through the desert. Yet he would not walk into the land himself. Some promises are seen by one generation, but fulfilled by another. Before he climbed the mountain, Moses gathered Israel for his final words. "Do not fear. Be strong and courageous. The Lord himself goes before you." The voice that once guided them through the wilderness was now preparing them to continue without him. With his staff in his hand and faith in his heart, Moses climbed Mount Nebo. Each step carried memories of a lifetime of service. At the top of the mountain, Moses looked across the promised land. He saw the dream, the blessing, the future of God's people. There was no bitterness in his heart, only gratitude. Moses understood that God's purpose was greater than his own desires. His journey was ending, but God's promise was just beginning. The Bible tells us that Moses was 120 years old, yet his eyes were not weak, and his strength had not left him. He did not die as a defeated man. He died as a faithful servant who had completed his mission. Then something happened that no other leader experienced. The Lord himself buried Moses in the valley of Moab. No king built him a monument. No nation discovered his grave. No human hand prepared his resting place. God kept the location hidden. The Israelites grieved for Moses in the plains of Moab. 30 days until the time of weeping and mourning was over. After the death of Moses, the Lord said to Joshua, "Be strong and courageous. As I was with Moses, so I will be with you. I will never leave you nor forsake you." Because Moses' greatest legacy was not a grave people could visit. It was a faith people could follow. He never stepped into the promised land, but he brought a nation to its doorway. A faithful life is never wasted. Your assignment may end, but God's purpose continues.